Hey, welcome back to the Foundation for Greatness. This is Joshua LaFawn. We have Zalo Gonzalez, and we have Remy today.
Hi.
Remy.
Hi.
All right, so you do credit repair. You're also like a realtor. You have a lot of hats, I guess you want to say.
Yeah. Well, the city has definitely provided for it, to be honest. I moved from LA, so
Nice.
I moved from LA to Las Vegas, and I assumed the city was very small. Big mistake if you're trying to move out here. It's huge. And
It wasn't like that.
It wasn't.
In 2007 when I
those
moved here.
Californians moving out here, you know?
Yep.
But I got into real estate, and I got really lucky because the brokerage that I'm with now was looking to, have a transaction coordinator in office, and I was really looking for something to kind of, how realtors have to do, you don't get a commission every single biweekly or monthly if you're lucky. So I have a 3-year-old son. I said, it's time for me to make sure that I have a security that's involved in my choice of career, which is real estate. So it kind of just seamlessly happened for me that way, and credit happened for that reason too.
Oh, nice.
That's great. Yeah.
When we start prospecting for people and we want to qualify them, what's the first question we ask?
Yeah.
Exactly.
What's your credit score?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
For anything, pretty much. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Even a nice vacuum.
If you want to date somebody, you're like, what's your credit
I
score?
know, right? If you want a Dyson, they're literally gonna ask you what you want to pay it in payments. So we've reached that point where it's become. I mean, it's always been, but now more than ever, it's become that 3-digit number that takes full control of your 6-digit income, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I love that. I love what you just said. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, I can't wait till they start doing the social credit score. I'm just playing.
I've seen that where they just
Followers?
see your face. Like, I have a lot of people tell me I look like somebody else. What if their credit score's not great? I don't want them to start thinking,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you said you work at a brokerage. What brokerage do you work at?
I work at Rothwell Gorn Companies with the Craig and Rinaldi team. Just an amazing team. Very on-field. I think it's the type of brokerage that is very old school. It's big
Italian?
on like, I mean, I
Italian?
feel like they are, because they still do the full spectrum of things. I see now the newer brokerages are focusing a lot on social media.
Yeah.
Which I think is such a resourceful tool for any business
Yep.
you try to manage, right?
Yeah.
But they focus more on the interpersonal part of real estate that we're trying to really, we saw what Zillow was trying to do to us, right?
Yeah.
So they focus on that, like meeting people, becoming family with people, becoming the resource to people. So
The basics.
the fundamentals,
basics,
right?
Yeah, real estate
And
101,
network is your net worth.
Yeah.
So they
very
definitely
true.
focus on that as well. So, and I'm a social butterfly. What can I say? we go very well together.
That's great.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So do you have any questions, Alo, or?
Yeah, no. So who's Remy? You said you moved here from LA, right?
Yeah.
So what part of LA?
Highland Park. So I'm from Highland Park, Northeast Los Angeles. And
Los Angeles.
I know, Los Angeles. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
You speak Spanish?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
cool. Oh,
I
nice,
do.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice,
so
nice.
that also has helped a lot,
Yeah.
especially in Las Vegas, because there is
Yes.
a large Hispanic community
Yep.
out here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I come from Los Angeles. I moved out here in 2017. I was really...
It's recent.
not that recent anymore. I'm not officially
Yeah.
Las Vegan quite yet. They say 10-year mark is the mark, but I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
Especially in the summer.
Yeah, especially. Okay, so we just passed winter. It's why I'm a little pale, but don't worry. And then from there, I had studied biological sciences. I wanted to become a veterinarian.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I did a lot of dog walking. I wanted to be a dog trainer for a while, so I did a lot of studying and kind of practicing on the field for that. And curiously enough, because of dog walking, I met a very successful realtor out here who I fell in love with his dogs, and he fell in love with my service.
Yeah.
And
It always starts with dogs, like all the time, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
But that's the best part, like dog parks, all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple
again,
deals out of it.
any network you could get in, but the dog network is great. You
Yeah.
already know they're loyal people.
Just like the dogs.
Yeah, exactly. So I saw his vision board. That's a really big thing now, like the vision boards. And I used to think that was really corny, very Pinteresty, but I saw his vision board, and he had such a calculatable strategy as to how he was going to achieve the sales.
Okay.
And you speak math to me, you're speaking my love language. So I saw what he had, and I saw how he accomplished it. And
Metrics, huh?
was
Was it all metrics? Like,
it was
follow-up
metrics.
calls, how many clients you touched, blah, blah, blah,
That-
if you closed, like, certain amount. You know, you talk to 10 people, you probably close 1 or 2 type
Exactly.
of
So
stuff?
that
Okay.
type of metrics, and then the other type of metrics, which is again the networking. So how
Oh,
many
okay.
people do I have to network to make the connections that I need? In order
Gotcha.
to-
Gotcha.
And I thought that was brilliant.
See, I'm not doing that enough. That's the problem with me.
Yeah, no, same here. I never
we don't
thought
go
of
on
it.
enough,
I didn't think about the.
Yeah.
I'm a big social networker, but when it comes to like person to person, I'm just like, I'd rather stay home and chill.
Same here, same here.
I turned into an introvert when I first moved out here, so I always tell people I didn't start experiencing Las Vegas until I became a realtor.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Because I didn't know the city. I mean, I grew up in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I knew the city there, like block by block, but I don't know, here you turn 2 lefts and you're in the same street.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it definitely kept me indoors for a bit, and then I turned into a realtor, and I remembered who I was in Los Angeles, and
Yeah.
and I got amazing connections like Ryan Crichton, Jeremy Lewis. You know, they're
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
They're huge.
Not only are
Huge
they
dudes,
huge,
yeah, out here, yeah.
not only are they huge, but they have so much experience out here.
Yeah.
You see a lot of huge new money, and something
Yep.
about the way they do it that really just my parents are from the 50s, and they're very big on work ethic. So
Yeah.
Gotcha.
you know,
That's
it
great.
was pretty great. So the city became my home when I became a realtor. I feel definitely.
That's very
That's,
cool.
that's awesome. So, so you told us a little bit about yourself. So, what made you change the direction, other than like I would say the money or anything like that, from like the veterinarian to being, in real estate?
Yeah.
I mean, my dad had been telling me for a long time. He was a realtor in Los Angeles, a loan officer, and now he's a property manager
Okay.
for quite a couple
Gotcha.
properties out there in Los Angeles. And he always used to tell me, like, "Oh, you're so smart, and you're so pretty. You should be a realtor." And you know how kids are when their parents suggest anything, you're just like, "No."
Yeah, I'm gonna
You
do the
know?
opposite.
I want to do the opposite, you know. So
Go train dogs.
I want to train dogs. Why don't you just become a human doctor? Because dogs don't talk back.
That's true.
You know, so I just, for whatever reason, and again, meeting Helder, which is the person whose dogs I used to walk.
Oh, okay.
So meeting Helder, I don't know
Yeah.
if you know Helder. Maybe,
Yeah. I've
so
seen
it
him
was
before, yeah.
Yeah, so
Curly hair guy, right? He's got curly
Yeah,
hair.
yeah,
dude,
curly.
Yeah, very curly, yeah. Yeah, I've seen him, yeah.
So meeting him really did kind of made the step into real estate. Meeting Jeremy Lewis made the step into social
Oh, okay.
environments. And that's
Gotcha.
where it all came hand to hand. And as I was getting
Nice.
to social environments, and as I was starting to prospect, as I was starting to even work with rentals, because a lot of people don't want to. I
Yeah.
have a sweet
Yep.
spot for my Latinos. And I
Yeah.
used to work in the service industry when I first moved out here too. I was like, I need to get people into rentals, but the credit, and I didn't know who to go to,
Yep.
because you always hear like
I don't
went-
know who to go to right now with credit. Like,
Well, you know
honestly,
me, so now
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
now I know, right? And that's why
Yeah.
I wanted to have you here. But before, like, I mean, we're usually you just tell them the lender will handle it, right? But I think I'd rather have somebody that knows that they
Someone
focus,
local, too.
Yeah, and that they focus on that.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I'll
Yeah.
do lending, but here's my credit report people. Like, I'd rather
It's
go to
tough.
somebody that I know, like, for example, you know?
I mean,
You know what
that's why I feel like the wearing multiple hats, you
Yeah.
have to adapt to the situation you're
Yep.
in, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to adapt is if you know the circumstances. And the only way you're going to know is to educate yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it started like that. Like Bianca Diaz, she's amazing.
Yeah, I know Bianca.
You
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
this city, I'm telling you,
It's
big.
small. It's a big small
It's
city.
a big small
Big,
city.
small
Yeah.
city, yeah.
So Bianca Diaz, she reached out to me through Facebook. She was like, "Hey, like I see you're a realtor. I see you're super active in social media,"
Yeah.
which I did not feel so at the moment. But she's like, "This would be a great tool for you. You know, you should get into, credit repair." And I was like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was all like, "No, I don't know anything. I didn't even have a credit card at that time." I was a very big hypocrite. I can't believe I'm going to say this in a microphone, but I was a big hypocrite because I was helping people try to buy houses and getting approved and getting them into rentals. And I had a 535 and I didn't
Yeah.
have a credit card.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was tough for me to I feel like imposter syndrome my way through all of it, and getting in touch with Bianca and getting to know the information about credit, not just credit restoration, but
Yeah.
the power of credit in general
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
it
no,
comes
it's
to
powerful.
wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to wealth,
It's crazy.
I mean, this is the only country where we can leverage somebody else's money to make more money.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't do that anywhere else.
Nope.
Not unless you have a whole bunch of more money in your
Yep.
pocket.
Yeah, no,
Right?
Exactly.
So,
That's why I left Mexico. You know,
I
there's
know.
not, yeah, there's
I love
can't
my
do anything over there.
Mexico. Yeah, but
I love
you know,
Mexico. Just can't really do
it's
much over
tough.
there. Yeah,
it's
really
tough.
tough.
Unless you have the money,
Yeah.
you can't just get
There's no credit.
There's no credit. I mean,
yeah.
there's credit conceptually, but again, you have to have like that huge lump sum, and the credit is really just like a lending process.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Credit,
Yeah, it makes sense.
You know, so it's not as easy as it is here. People think it's so hard, but we have it really good.
I have a really good.
Yeah, it's true.
I
Really,
agree
really
with you.
good. So
yeah.
she convinced me. I mean, not enough to join her program though. I was like, nah, girl, I'm gonna try this for myself. I'm gonna try this for myself.
She tried to do the
first.
same thing to me.
Yeah,
but
you know?
I was too focused on real estate. I told her I don't have the time. You know, she's all you need is like a day. I'm like I don't have the time. I'm building my real
know.
estate empire. You know, that's what I'm trying to do right
I
now.
know.
And,
Let me tell
yeah.
you, same response. Okay, same
Yeah.
response, and now you know what it is I do. So,
Mm-hmm.
I went through the credit restoration process. I was really frustrated because the first cycle, which takes approximately 60 days to get responded to,
Okay. That's what I
no
was gonna
results,
ask, yeah. Okay.
verified.
Mm.
You can definitely ask me that question, but just to like give you my testimony.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
First cycle, no response. 60
Okay.
days. Second cycle, no response. Another 60 days. We're doing the math. That's 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Over
Wow.
here paying a monthly fee for a program, and I'm like,
Yeah.
thanks. for asking."
Yeah.
I told her, you know what? I like you. I'm gonna try it again. So the third cycle came through, and at that point, I had gotten 3 of my 6 negatives removed,
Oh, nice.
Oh.
and
okay.
they were collections.
Gotcha.
My credit score went from 535 to 649.
Wow.
So it was
Nice.
over
Yeah,
100,
that's-
and it's also
yeah.
because at that time frame, I had educated myself on credit cards.
Mm.
Okay.
I again Latino parents, and they're all like, do not
Yeah.
be in debt.
Yeah, that's how my dad told me. The
O
same.
sea, no te metas en deudas.
Yeah.
You break any type of relationship with
Yeah.
a dollar being owed. Do not get into any debt. So
Yep.
first thing I thought about a credit card was like, you ain't fooling me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not owing you a cent, you know? So that was my mistake. We're misinformed. We're miseducated.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
use our, you know, like, it's like if you need a mechanic, are you going to go to your mom for advice?
Exactly.
You need to go to a professional, but
Yeah.
we're so used to resorting to the people that we know and we
Yep.
trust.
Yep.
And they aren't always informed.
Yep.
Here's the crazy part. We have computers and
Yeah.
we have phones and we can inform ourselves.
Yep.
But there-
Google.
But then I know.
I tell people that all the time. I'm like, they're like, oh, how do I do this? I don't know. There's YouTube and Google.
Google it. And
But you know the answer. I might be wrong, but just fucking Google it. Like, come on.
Sir. Fact check me on Google.
fucking Google
You know?
it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's like, I don't know what to tell you. So it's crazy. You think you could do it on your own, and the reality is you can, but you have to first put yourself through
Yeah.
learning the process. So that's why when I got that result, I was like, all right, I believe you. I decided to become an agent. I endeavored a little bit more education.
Cool.
It was a turnkey business for me. So they had websites for me. They had
Oh,
everything.
wow.
I had no choice. I mean, it was easier than the MLS.
Yeah, it was like it's basically a franchise. You just come in, you pay the
Yeah.
fee, and then you're done. You're
Wow.
like all
Exactly.
the
So, and
credit repair franchise almost.
yeah. Well, the thing was that I then learned that it wasn't about credit repair. Obviously, I went in there with that mindset. And then she said the company we work for is the United Wealth Educators, and the service we offer is the United Credit Education Services.
Got it.
So I was like, wealth, credit, like, all right, now you're trying to make me a financial guru, right? Girl, like one step at a time.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized the immense effect that your credit score has in you generating wealth, and not just wealth, but generational wealth.
Yeah.
So after the 4th cycle, which if you do the math, it's over 8 months.
Yeah, over 8
right?
months.
For
Yeah.
a lot of people, that's like, I'm not going to wait 8 months.
Yeah.
I ruined my credit the last 15 years, but I want it fixed. I want it fixed in 3 days. Okay, you know,
10% interest on
Right?
everything.
So,
Credit cards 40% interest.
I was 6 years in. I was 6 years in with that credit score, and I was okay with it. When I needed a car, I couldn't just go like, okay, I'll come back, I'll fix my credit. No, I needed my car.
Yeah.
You know, so I got it at a 13% APR.
Yeah. Me too.
know?
I've done that before too.
And what are you gonna do? That's your credit score.
Yeah.
So after that last cycle, which was ending July, my credit score went up to 727.
Oh, nice.
Wow, that's
I-
awesome.
Refinanced my car. I went from 397 to 281. So
Look at those savings in
100
just
bucks.
less than a year.
And
Yeah.
You
in
know?
less than a
Yeah,
year.
so you think about that, right? If you're
Mhm.
saving $100 a month, and it only took you how many months? Like a
it
year?
took me a little over 8 months.
Okay, so over 8 months. Now you're gonna save over the next, 5 years or whatever, $100. You already made your money back times.
Exactly. And that's not even the crazy part. The crazy part about the education services is that they teach you the fundamentals of finances, budgeting, and how to strategically pay off your debts.
That's amazing.
That's how I was
gotcha.
able to strategically pay for credit restoration.
Okay.
And strategically pay for such a high APR
Yeah.
because they were educating me on how to budget my finances, prioritize myself, time block. It became much more than credit. It became a personal development, development seminar with a compensation plan for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
So at that point, that's when I said, I believe in credit. I believe in credit. I saw the results with myself, and I continue seeing them with my clients.
Okay.
There's 1 or 2 clients that I haven't gotten results for in more than 6 months because all of their accounts are verifiable in theirs.
Okay.
But then there's a second part to it. You don't know if the dispute process isn't resulting to how you would like it to. There is now a negotiations state that
Yeah.
most people
Yeah.
just want to go straight into.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
because I actually I made that mistake of going with a company that because my credit was bad 3 years ago, and
Was it Lexington Law? Don't lie to me.
it was. I'll be honest, it was like close to Lexington. It was it was like debt consolidation something. I was
There's
like,
so many.
yeah.
Yeah, I almost did it too, but
yeah, so I went and did that, and then it was just terrible because they negotiated, like I had 2 credit cards that they're negotiating, and when they were negotiating, they were doing it, and they're like, oh, you're gonna have to pay this much per month. I'm like, what the heck? And I was like, you know what? Let me try just doing a credit repair place. So I went to do credit repair place. They the first people I had, garbage. Second people I had, I used them way back like 10 years ago, and it worked. But the problem is like, what was it? 6 months ago, they actually the bank was they actually sued me because I went through the debt consolidation, and they negotiated a deal for me. And since they negotiated a deal and I signed off on the deal, then they were able to legally sue me.
Wow.
And I had to pay that.
What?
that is crazy. How
Wait.
much was that, Josh? Just,
So
we just want to know for the audience.
I know, right?
trying to get my business out there. No, it's fine. So I that card, it was like a
us an
$7,000 or $8,000 balance, and it was like I put it up to around 3,000, and they negotiated it, and at the end of the day, I still paid the 3,000.
So here's the scary part about debt consolidation. It's you giving up your legal rights.
Yeah, no, I found that out now.
Yeah, the Federal Credit Reporting Act of 1970. I mean, there's so many laws for the consumers that protects them. And again, this is just all self-education.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and you can definitely fact check me if you want to check it out, guys. But it allows a consumer to not only dispute any negative, it also allows a consumer to consolidate on their own. And that all it requires is proper jargon, to be completely honest, and it requires legal statutes to be mentioned in those disputes.
Gotcha.
And the hard part about consolidating with a debt company that maybe isn't attached to a legal attorney that is experienced in credit jargon, because it is a thing,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
at that point, all you're doing is kind of verifying everything as yours.
Yep.
Yeah.
And telling them, yep, this is mine and I can pay it, but I don't want to pay it. Versus
Exactly.
stating like, it's my legal right to dispute this.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I can legally tell you that I can pay you a certain lump sum. So there's a different way of going about it to get you
Yep.
different
Gotcha.
results. And
Yeah.
Okay.
and that's also why I felt like having this was different. I did go through LL. I won't say their name again. I did go through LL in 2017 because I had paid a medical bill that was $4,673.
And that's the crazy thing about medical bills is I'm not saying don't pay your medical bills, but they don't really count
You don't
bad
have
towards
to.
you. but it's like they're not that they're not that impacting.
Let me just
but
correct both of you so I can help this out.
please.
Our goal is to be law-abiding citizens
Yes.
and pay our dues.
Oh yeah.
However, my case was that I did pay it, and it was a closed account that was still being reported as negative for 6 years.
Oh wow.
So I
Oh,
didn't monitor
okay.
my credit, which is an important part of credit restoration, seeing how your credit is moving based on the actions you're taking on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because it's direct correlation to your behaviors financially.
Yeah.
So what happened there is the medical bills. It's a fickle thing. You know, it's a medical company. It's nothing legal. It's just a company that's asking you for a bill to be paid, and then they sell it for cents on a dollar. And then if that company doesn't get anything from you, they continue selling it for cents on a dollar until you decide to one day pay it.
Wow. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen a couple different companies that have the same bill, and they're like, well, no. And then once they get it, they'll like hit you up every so often, right? And it goes away for like a good couple months, and then once somebody like a new account or a new company gets it,
Yeah.
they start hitting you up again.
Here's my biggest advice to everybody that's watching. If
Yes.
somebody calls you and they ask you to verify your information for a potential collection, your response should always be, if you have my accurate, verifiable information, please mail me this information.
Okay.
Okay, do
Yeah.
not verify it. Oh, can I have your address then, please? If you
Yeah,
have
they
my
always-
accurate
yeah.
information, please mail it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's your full name so I make sure? If you have my accurate information,
Okay.
please
You
put.
just got to push back. Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is 80% of credit reports are
Yeah. Inaccurate.
incorrect,
Okay.
erroneous, inaccurate. I know a lot of juniors that are having their parents' debts put in their report.
Oh.
You know, the bureaus aren't a machine. The bureaus are a compilation of humans processing information.
Okay.
And if you've ever played telephone,
Mm-hmm.
information gets very diluted.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Every time they sell
Yeah.
it, every time they sell it, it's like they miss information. Your email might get lost. Now your address every time, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's great.
I think my most recent, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, I'll say her name, I won't say her last name, but my most recent thing was with Cecilia, and they had her since she was able to have credit as Cecilio,
Oh.
you know?
I always get
Oh.
my I have hyphenated last names like
Yeah.
Gonzalez Chavez. They always like do that. They'll put like Chavez or like Gon Chavez, and I'm like, what?
You
the
do realize
hell?
that's not you anymore, though, right?
Yeah, no, I know.
So
oh, okay.
if anything that is
Yeah.
being marked with your inaccurate information legally, you have the right to dispute that to be removed.
Okay.
So that's what I did with her. I asked our
That's
credit,
perfect, yeah.
I asked our credit attorneys, and I showed them the bill that they got from IC Systems, which is a very common collection company out here, asking for Cecilio blank, their last name, giving them the different bills that they had. And I noticed that a lot of the collections that she had 24, just so you know, a lot of them had the wrong name. So I told our processing center, I'm all like, address this immediately. They're like, well, you should call I don't know if they meant to advise, but they said, well, maybe you should call them and see if they have their name right. And I was like, I don't want to call them.
Yeah.
I want you to dispute this as incorrect information.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
they
that
said,
makes sense, yeah.
oh, well, yeah, definitely. Let's get to it. They got all the account numbers. They disputed the 24 accounts. And I wish I can show you guys, or I should have been prepared, but
We believe
Oh, you're
you.
good.
I
know.
have some,
We believe you.
but she got 10 of them removed, and she got that advised in 42 days.
Oh,
That is
wow.
In
amazing.
42 days.
Yeah.
She got 10
That's
of them.
half. It's
Y-
basically
yeah,
half.
Yeah. And it was just because they had her name spelled wrong. And that is so common. So common. So I tell people all the time, even if in your heart, all your accounts are yours and you're stagnant in raising your credit score, it's because of two reasons. One is because you haven't been proactive in terms of knowing what your credit score is compiled of, payment history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 35%. Just pay your bills on time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other thing is the length of your history. Your credit card utilization is 30%. So just payment history and your credit card utilization is 65% of your score.
Wow.
Jeez.
I didn't even think about that. But I know it's 35% for the payment history because everything, all my stuff is on auto pay.
You're like,
I
I
always
ain't
keep
gonna
track
be
of-
late. Okay.
I'm gonna be like- but that doesn't help me get to another level though. Like it helps me to an.
It
to a-
helps
to a-
you maintain
yeah,
it.
helps me, right?
For
but
sure.
it doesn't get me to like the 750 or the 780 or whatever, right?
Because that's only 35%.
Yeah, now I
get
so
it.
then you
Okay.
have to it's a strategy. There's a rule book. you follow the rules,
Yeah.
and you win.
Yeah.
And everyone could win if they all follow the rules,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I have a question. So based on that, like the credit utilization. So with a credit card, because I know that the rule of thumb is you don't want to, if you use it, don't pay it all off at the same time. You want to kind of pay it back in payments. But like, what's the sweet spot when it comes to credit card
Such
utilization?
a
I
great
guess.
question.
Yeah.
A lot of it has to do with auto payments is great, because credit cards do have the ability to auto pay their minimum. I don't believe you should ever pay the minimum. I think you should strategize mathematically.
Okay.
So if we want to say $1,000, we know that it's best for you to keep that credit card by the end of the month at $300 or less by the end of the month.
Yeah, because the 30% utilization.
Got it.
It looks great if you do more than one payment on your credit card, because that can result in the credit card company enhancing your maximums. Technically, they have 45 days to inform you of hiring or lower the interest. So they can even tell you like, hey, like your behavior has been so great, so we'll lower your interest. So things like that. And I always tell people, try on the 15th and 3 days before the end of the month to bring your money down to at least the 30%. Though the sweet spot is 9%. To really see that point increase.
9%?
I know a lot of people don't talk about it because they're all like 30%.
I thought it was 10 as well. I mean, 30%.
Yeah, I mean, it is 30%.
Yeah.
Because that's what's
but
going
you
to
said
keep
this
you.
sweet, yeah.
It'll affect you negatively if you go over 30%.
Got it.
It'll maintain your credit score if you keep it at a 30%. But if you want to really see a push and boost on your credit score you want to put that at 9%. So if you have, your $1,000, I know it sounds crazy to bring it down to 90, but if you put it in your mindset to not ever spend more than $300 on that 1,000 max card, it's very easy to bring down your payments from 300 to 90.
Yep.
Okay.
And 2 payments in a month. Right?
Gotcha. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Wow.
I'm excited now.
I did not know
Even
that
though
at
credit
all.
is so boring, but it gets exciting.
It's
credit
boring until it qualifies you for $1 million house.
Well, and, and when you start learning, like you said, leverage it too, right? Because that's the beauty of it. I mean, I think my credit score is maybe 700 right now. Maybe I think it's like 700.
It's nice. It's a sweet.
It's an okay. It's okay, right?
You don't have to flex.
Yeah.
I'm a
I didn't say
727,
750,
so,
bro. Yeah, exactly. No, she's higher. But yeah, no, I think that once you learn how to use credit, you can leverage it. And you can make huge
moves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Huge moves. I mean, don't buy a car. Don't buy the nice purse. Don't buy.
If you put a purse on credit, oh man, come on now.
I know people.
I know a bunch of people.
She probably seen it. People putting
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it for shoes. I've seen it for purses.
No.
And I tell people, if you haven't bought your asset that's gonna one day bring you cash flow, you're working against yourself.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
You really are. And if you're fortunate enough to make an abundance of money and not live paycheck to paycheck, why would you still not leverage somebody else's money?
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you risk your own money? Come on.
No, I agree with you 100%. Yeah.
But I'm guilty of getting, because when I was like 18 or 19, I was like, oh, let me get like a nice stereo for my car, all this stuff. And that's exactly what I did. But then
the loan center.
but then the value of trying to pay it back, it's like, oh, I already have this nice shiny thing. And
you don't want
and then that's when I was younger, I let it go to crap. But then once I buy something now where it's like valuable, on a credit card, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll pay on it. Because I see the value. Well, I'm older too, but I see the value in it too.
Well, that's where, and I hate that the word is used so connotatively, but that's where the manipulation comes in, right?
Yeah.
You want to manipulate when you do and when you don't. You have to make sure that you know the percentages and how every move you make will affect you, right? I know now that bringing my credit score, because I have it at a 57 max because of Christmas, it's already March and I haven't really but I know if I bring it down to 30%, for me, that's another 27 to 42 points, depending on how, like, once you start really seeing it in mathematical way,
Yeah.
you can really start. It's just like anything. It really is. It really is. You got to know how many minutes on your microwave your popcorn will pop. Otherwise, you're going to burn them or they'll be weird. And
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Okay,
is it? 'Cause I've been trying to have like people explain this to me, but I still don't get it. Which is like, why would I get a credit card?
I mean,
and then I have a follow-up question to that as well.
I'm excited for your follow-up question.
Sorry.
Well, for the credit card, and this is again coming from the girl who didn't get her first credit card till just about a year and a half ago. The benefit of getting a credit card, first off, is having a variety of credit trade lines, because that is a certain percentage of your credit score.
Okay.
That's 5%, and I know.
But isn't it like you don't want to have
15%.
too many credit or trade lines, or I don't know. See, I'm educated when it comes to credit, but to a point, and I'm always like
The basic.
the basic information.
If
They
you
must
wanna-
know.
If you want to bring it to the basics, you have the payment history at 35%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have your credit card utilization at 30%.
Okay.
And the accounts that you have, the variety of accounts, that's 15% of your credit score.
Okay.
Right. So, and then from there you go for length of history, which is another 15%.
Oh, yeah.
And then from there you have inquiries, which is 5%.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
So, being aware that having more accounts is better for you. Now, again, it goes back to the manipulation and the time frames that you
Yes,
decide to do
that's true.
things.
Mm-hmm.
My first ever trade line was as an authorized user on somebody who had 11 years of history. So I
Okay.
started with an amazing credit score.
Wow.
When they dropped me from their credit card, I didn't have any credit trade line and I had zero history. That pummeled me down to the 535.
Gotcha.
Oh.
So if
that's where I
you were to
started.
get a credit card at that point in time, while you were authorized user, and then you would have that history, and then you'd want to jump right back off,
I mean, I
Or-
would have never
or
wanted
he
to
would
jump
take
off
you, or
'cause-
they would take you off.
Yeah, because 11 years of history is great. You want to be 6 years and more. And
Yeah.
people think like, how am I going to just poof years? An authorized user is one of the best example.
Okay.
So I tell people all the time, if you have no history, but you have like a grandma that has a Marshall's card from 1989 that she's always paid off, have her make you an authorized user. And I did that to my friend Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine. I did that to my friend Jasmine. She jumped on Gloria's Marshall's card, and she went from having a couple months of history to a couple years of history.
Okay.
And that helped her. But to answer your question, it helps with credit trade lines variability, because you want to show, again, credit score
Oh, that you
is
Got
could balance.
that you can manage. Your credit
Got
score is a
manage, yeah.
direct correlation as who you are as a borrower. And if you're just using one credit card as your credit trade line, it looks like you're good at that one thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Then you have a car loan, which is a different type. So credit cards
Gotcha.
is revolving.
Mm-hmm.
Car loan is payments.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Mortgage is payments with interest, and so those are different
Okay.
types of credit trade lines.
Gotcha.
And you want to
That's
have
crazy.
Yeah.
you want to have a variety so you can show that you're very reliable. So that's why sometimes I have trolls come on my page and they're all like, "Oh, like I did all these like things. I'm already in 780, but there's no way for me to go to 800 because I would have to get more credit cards." And I'm like, "Well, having credit cards, paying your stuff on time,
Yeah.
and keeping your utilization low, that's not all the components of your
Right.
credit.
Yeah.
There's
Right,
ways,
yeah.
and that's
Okay.
that's the importance of having a variety. You want to
Yeah,
show that
yeah.
you're a reliable borrower.
Gotcha. Okay.
Guys,
Yeah,
where'd you
because
get your credit card?
I am that person that only has one credit card.
Well, I had my Apple Card forever, and then I had I had my son before I even got my Apple Card. But then I got my Apple Card. I had like a $2,000 limit, and the first thing I did was authorize my son to use it,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
so he can have history. So he has more history than I ever did at the age of like 20.
So
know?
that's what you recommend. Like, for example, my son is 18 months. Obviously, he's not using a credit card.
No, but why not give him
But-
your history?
Okay, so that's what I was gonna ask. Like,
Yeah.
if I was to add him to one of my credit cards, it's just basically like he's getting that history already?
Now remember, it's the good history and the bad history. So
Okay.
leave your son with a legacy of good behavior.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
if you feel like you're not very reliable with your credit card and you're still
Okay.
learning, and
That's a good
you
point.
have time to put them as an authorized
Yeah,
user to
yeah.
learn how to budget your funds enough to look like a great borrower,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Yep.
So all the good and all the bad. And that's what I tell my friends too. Like, make sure you're going with a reliable person that's going to put you as an authorized user. Because
Okay.
if they
Makes
have really
sense.
bad habits, you will also look like it.
Yep.
That's why you brought up the grandmas, because they
Yeah,
got their
be
shit
like,
together.
You know the grandma had the shit together. Yes, she did. She
Usually
was
they got their
like,
shit together. Yeah.
I need that card. I only put you as an authorized user. You ain't using my credit, girl. You know, so. But yeah, that's super key. Super key.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And your
Damn, I
follow-up
learned so much
question.
already.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So-
That's
First,
my
yeah.
goal.
So is buying or did you have a question?
The
before?
follow-up
No.
Oh.
question.
I was just gonna ask that. The follow-up question was, how does somebody get a credit card that, you know? Because I always, like, my brother-in-law, for example, he's like, hey man, I need to get a credit card. How do I do it? So I told him this. I don't know if I did the right thing or not. To get a secure credit card.
I love this follow-up question, and I love that you already answered it.
Okay.
A secure credit card is a great way. So it works like a debit card,
Yeah.
whereas you put in the first initial funds that you're going to put as
Yeah.
your max balance.
Yes. Yes.
And it reports your usage like a credit card. So no qualification or requirements are needed to get one.
Gotcha.
And you put your limit on yourself. I tell people all the time, don't put $1,000 and just let them go array. You know, put $200 just so you can get yourself a credit trade line. Since I work with a lot of people that have ITINs and their credit invisible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do
'Cause
they
don't
build
have,
credit?
yeah.
Most of them just go, I'll never be able to do it. I'll never be able to buy a house. I'll just have to work. That's what they do. So
Yeah.
they don't have, and because they've already tried it, they start with negative credit.
Yeah.
So they start inquiring, and they don't get qualified, and it leads it to, like, credit is evil.
It's
you
a
know?
vicious cycle. Yeah.
You know, so it's that. Just the secure credit cards, there's many different forms. My company actually provides a secure credit card as well.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
So
cool,
we try to
cool.
cover all rays.
Okay.
People who need credit restoration, people who need credit building, people who've already built their credit. We educate people on how to leverage their credit to buy assets. And from there, we teach them how to manage their money through budgeting and debt payoff tools so they can save on their interest over time. So it's very evolutionary. Very evolutionary.
That's
Wow.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. And
That's-
how long does it take, Remy, for, like, you know, let's say I get a secure credit card, right? For it to show, like, what's the time frame on that?
Well, a great example would be my friend Elizabeth. I used to work with her at Denny's, the one on Las Vegas Boulevard.
Nice.
Nice.
Almost, it's been a long time. It's been almost 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago.
Yeah.
She had reached out and she told me, like, hey, like, I know for sure I didn't pay my school loans and I know my credit is horrible. Well, we checked her credit and it said she's never had credit history
Okay.
ever. So she was credit invisible. And I
Yeah.
said, look, like, there's two things we can do, which we also offer, is credit my rent, which is a strategic way to use your lease payments that you made on time.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So that can get you up to 2 years of credit history, just like this.
Wow.
And the secure card is a great one because, you know, credit my rent will help with your credit history, which we know is 15%.
Yeah.
But the secure card helps with the variety and with the utilization.
Okay.
So at
That
that
makes sense.
point, that's 35%. And then if you pay it on time, you add the 65%. Plus the 570% manipulation there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why the secure card is definitely better than just the credit my rent. But if you put it all together,
Damn.
you know,
That is crazy, dude.
yeah. So the secure card is great.
Okay.
The only thing I tell people is that first payment you make, it's gonna be your max, and it's not something you can just remove and say, okay, I'm done with the secure card. Like, this is your permanent credit trade line.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you won't technically see the $200 like that again. You can see it in usage, but you have to return it to yourself
Yes.
every time.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. And for Elizabeth, she told me September 29th, we got her the secured card, and October 2nd. And by November 4th, she had gotten a report through Credit Karma, and she went from 0 to 657.
Wow.
Holy crap.
So
That
she-
is a big jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just by having that. And
Wow,
because we
okay.
did credit my rent thereafter, so that showed that she had history as well.
Mm.
And then it also showed that she's had 100% payment history. So
Yep.
again, you do
Yeah.
the math.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a big jump for her. And that's qualified for a loan.
That's
Gotcha.
a conventional loan right there.
It
Isn't it
is
650?
640.
Right. Yeah.
640.
640. Yeah.
Please do not, in fact, just
This
fact check
is not
me.
financial advice.
I am not an expert lender, but I believe
I'm not an expert
640.
lender.
Yeah, I think
They
it's
taught me to
640.
say that at school. You are only a specialist in your area.
Yep.
So, but I believe it's 640 for a conventional loan, and that's the type
Gotcha.
of loan you want.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
wanna apply. And
Right,
she
just
was
like
there.
that, huh? Wow.
And with
Okay.
with your company's secured card, does it just stay secured after you pay like a certain amount on time, or is there an option to have it unsecured at that point, or that's when you just go out and get a credit card?
At that point, you're qualified to actually get a credit card.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you go to the 650 credit score or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Six in the 600s.
The great part about having a great credit score is that once you are able to get a credit card, you know, they extend your maximums sometimes without letting you know. And
Yeah.
you know, and that can be a double-edged sword.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Go buy a car on a credit card.
Yeah.
You know, like I went from
It's 12%.
2,000 to 5,250, and they didn't let me know, and I was like, yeah, so now I can spend more. You know,
Yep.
and that if I just kept my limit is 2,000, do not use more than 600. If I would have kept that same discipline that I had already, I would have never.
Yeah,
You know.
that happened to me.
You know, hey,
I
we're
got-
only
Oh, yeah.
human.
I got a
We're
credit
only
card. It was
human.
American Express, you know?
I know.
And then I got like a
Those
30,000 limit. And
Oh,
I went up
man.
to so I went up to 20,000.
Yeah.
And,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Was that
And
right?
guess what?
Let me-
what
let me-
did he
for
do
this.
with it?
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what'd you buy with
What did you buy
20,000?
with it, Zalo?
I bought so much crap, like all kinds of stuff, right? I paid bills.
That's
bought
funny
like
how you don't even know what you
I don't
bought.
know what it
You like the crap.
and I still owe it. Yeah, no, that's what yeah, exactly. Like I don't even know what I bought. Like it's gone, you know. But that was crazy because it was like up to 20,000, right? I paid it off already, but you know, and that was like 5 years ago. But it's just crazy how it could happen so quickly
Yeah.
too. It was like in less
Yeah.
than 6 months.
Yeah.
You know.
It's
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing and a scary thing.
Yep.
I think I got bottle service maybe.
Yeah, you know, bottle service. I always
We live
ask
in Vegas.
people- I know. I always ask people like, what do you have to show for it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What do you have to show for it? And
Yeah.
some girls are like, well, look at this purse, you know, and that's okay.
It ain't
Oh.
hers.
No, it's okay.
It is.
It's
I
okay
get
if
it.
you
I was just
you
clowning.
know, like
Yeah.
if you learn how to manage
Yeah. If it
yourself,
makes you happy,
which
right?
is,
Yeah.
you know, if it makes you happy, that's great. But if it makes you wealthy, that's better.
Yeah.
I like that. I
So,
like that.
You know, just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Prioritize. I did find myself ending up being very financially literate because
That
of
is
this.
awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome. And that only took what, Remy? Like you said, like 8 months?
It took me 8 months to get the results, and I've been with the United Wealth Educators servicing with the United Credit Education for a year and 4 months now.
Nice.
And I've been promoted a couple of times already, and
That's awesome.
I've been able to just by providing the service to people, I'm educating. You know, they say, the Padawan never becomes a master until he starts teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
True.
definitely, yes, Star Wars.
Very
So
Padawan.
yeah, at that point, like you really find yourself. I realized it was about caring and knowing when to care.
Yeah.
It's different than in real estate where you just call.
Yeah.
With credit, I let people reach out to me.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, you have to
You have
because you
to.
can't just. It's a weird conversation. Like, hey, you got
Yeah.
bad credit?
Yeah.
You need help?
It's not even that. It's not
Are you
even
in the
that. I
fives?
promise that. I assure you that people that have bad credit know they have bad credit.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you can
Yeah,
see it
I
in their
had it.
bills.
Yeah.
You can
Yep.
see it in their stress levels.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not even that. I think it's the intention. Like, who has the intention and the mindset? And are you willing to learn how to have the mindset?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't, they think it's like, oh, you have to be wealthy. You have to be silver spoon fed. Like, you have to know this to, like, create generational wealth. And that's not true,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And it's just like a block that we
Yeah.
have, a block that I had,
Yeah.
and-
I did too.
And that's something that I had to learn with this as well. Like,
Yeah.
I can't go to everyone and try to help everyone in something that they feel they don't need help in because they're doing all right,
They
paying
gotta
extra.
be the
That is
ones,
very
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
You know?
You're right. They got to be the ones that want to
They
make that
have
change,
to.
right?
They
Yep.
really
Yeah.
do. They
Yep.
really do. Because that credit score, let me tell you, it's the first step to anything.
To wealth. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
true.
Very true.
So, I know you talked about what was it? It was student loans.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aha.
So I was seeing if you had any like success.
I was hoping he'd never ask. I'm just kidding. No.
Right. Yeah. Who wants to know about student loans?
No,
Oh.
look,
Yeah.
They
those
chase me
student
every time.
loans are a fickle thing. I've been saying fickle a lot. Just cut me off on
You
I-
that.
said you
I
said
never
it
realized
twice
it.
so far, and that's
Twice?
Yeah, only twice.
Okay.
Just so you know,
Okay.
I counted it.
That student loans is a weird thing, you know?
Okay.
It's a federal loan, so
Yeah.
you have to pay it back.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Uncle
Yeah.
Sam's not gonna let you off the hook, not like the medical collection.
But
Oh,
can I
yeah.
pay $1 a month?
So we
Ooh,
have
that
student
question.
loan. It is a great question, but just like any other loan and just like any other agreement that you made, you're paying a certain interest.
Yeah.
So you want to pay it off sooner than later.
Okay.
But there are student loan forgiveness letters.
Oh, really?
Yes. And that is just a whole nother debt of a conversation.
I was
But
just gonna ask, how do I send the letter? But
we could I could definitely
You
show
can help
you
me out
some
with that?
templates, but
Okay.
just to kind of really cut it in short, you know, the loan is a loan.
okay.
You owe it, you owe it.
Yeah.
Yes.
However, circumstances exist
Yeah.
and you have consumer rights.
Okay.
Okay? Even as a student, you're paying for an education. So it's not just like it's permanent. I've seen people settle student loans. I've seen
Okay.
people reduce the amount they owe.
Okay.
I've seen people with the forgiveness letters have multiple different sponsors to pay off the loan. That is
What do you mean by sponsors?
so there's companies out there, you know, that for whatever reason, X, Y, and Z, they get benefit from trying to help students pay these loans off because they also get pennies of the
On
dollar.
the yeah. Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Again, it's just a
Oh.
whole
Damn,
nother.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Our company just finished offering it. Like, it's something that just happened. We came back from Texas in January, and they were like, this is something that apparently keeps getting addressed, and we don't know how to help people, so they partnered with people that could.
Wow.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm still learning the details of it myself. I was blessed to never have student loans because, again, I'm big on work ethic. I applied to 73 scholarships, and 4 got me through college.
Oh, that's
So-
awesome. That's awesome.
I
I wish
never
I
had
would've-
to worry about
I
student
wish I
loans.
would have done that, but I was just
Everybody's
ready to go
giving
to
money
college.
away in this country, man. Like, you just
I
gotta find
know.
it.
Yep.
You know,
Right?
like,
Yeah.
you just gotta find it. Write a
Yep.
quick essay, copy paste it for the next one, and
Wow.
you just be intentional about it. That word intention is big on everything you decide to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
true.
Congrats. That's great, Remy. That's
Thank
a
you.
great
But
story.
I didn't do veterinary medicine, so I'm doing real estate.
But you know what? Though
Sorry.
you still learn all kinds of stuff in college. You know what I mean?
The discipline
Like,
I
yeah,
have
you
and
learn
the
so
work
much,
ethic
and
is
the work
definitely-
ethic, and look at where you're at now. You're a real estate agent. You're doing credit. You're doing everything. Now you're teaching us here what to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And-
That's crazy, right?
It is crazy how everything just kind of,
Yeah.
and it is really
Yeah.
a circle around for me. It's just one big circle
Yep,
because
yep.
it goes back to the same thing. You have a structure. School is the structure that they set in place for us. Now it's just us doing it for ourselves,
Yeah.
depending on what we want to accomplish. If it's
Agree,
credit
yeah.
repair, put yourself in a structure and be disciplined and intentional about it, and resort to the professionals.
Yeah, that's very
I
true.
agree with you on that 100%.
You can look up in YouTube how to put together the carburetor and the water valves
Yep,
and everything
yep.
that makes up
Mhm.
an engine, but you'll still want to pay $4,000 for a professional to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, I
But if you're
agree.
rebuilding your engine, just get a new car. You know,
just
however,
go and get a new
everything's
car.
possible.
Yeah.
All education is in. The
Yep.
tips
Palm
of
of your
your
hands. Yep.
Yeah.
So you have a choice: endeavor in the education and practice it through trial and error,
Mhm.
or resort to the professionals
Yep.
and get the results.
Yep.
And move
I
from
agree.
there. Leverage.
That reminds me in real estate how, people are like, oh, I'll just sell my own house. Oh, really?
I love FISBOs.
I love it too. I love it too. They're just
We just made an addendum today for a FISBO, and I'm just thinking about that right now. Like,
Oh,
we saved
man.
you.
yeah.
Saved
All
you.
the time. All the time.
All the time.
Yeah,
These
yeah, it's
realtors are
crazy.
heroes without the capes. You know?
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Yeah. You do real estate too, you said, as well?
I
So
do.
you got your license?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Do you also like, so that was actually one of my questions I was going to ask is, so any of the people that do credit repair with you, do you also help them try to purchase houses too?
Yeah, so
That's
actually
smart.
I had brought this, and I could definitely leave this with you guys here.
Okay.
but
Okay, yeah.
It's a roadmap to buying your first home, and the mindset is from renter to homeowner. And
That is awesome.
Yeah, the services are to leverage your credit, build wealth, start with credit repair if you need it,
Oh, yeah.
or
Yeah.
or start with credit building tools if you need it. Because some people are stagnant on that, like 630, 600, and they
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
know. But that's because they probably don't have a credit card, probably don't have the history. So those are credit building tools. And then from there,
Wow.
640 plus a couple savings, which you can learn through
Yeah.
budgeting.
Yeah.
Right?
Very true.
Yeah.
And you can achieve through, debt payoff and budgeting. Then you can start your strategy, financing, with a realtor, offers and negotiations.
That's amazing.
I
love
wanted,
that roadmap.
I needed to make sure that if I was going to refer someone to a credit restoration company, they weren't just going to disappear on me.
Oh,
That is
oh.
that is genius.
No, I've
Because it
actually
happens
had
a
that
lot.
happen. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've actually used one. I like to use companies that I like to refer, and if I don't use them, I was like, I don't. I'll disclose them. I have not used them. If I do disclose, I'm like, hey, they're fucking good.
Yeah.
But but no, I've had somewhere
I'm
where
not eating where you tell me to go eat, okay?
I'll tell you some good restaurants.
Yeah,
But no, so I've used some credit places, and like I used this. I don't want to knock them or anything, but it was the mom and pop shop. I'll just call them.
Yeah.
And I would call them and they're like, oh, can you email me this, that, like email me like everything. I'm like, okay, cool. And then they want me to sign off on documents. They want me to do this. They want me to do this. And I'm like, I don't have time to do this. Can you just do your job? And then I would call them like 60 days later. No, it was 90 days later after paying them. Me and my wife's together was around probably $250 a month. And, I was like, cool. And then I'd call them, oh, like 90 days later, oh, well, you didn't send me this document, so I couldn't dispute it. What? So, like, it was just like, man. So,
Sounds
yeah,
like
trying
a
to.
lot of follow up and a lot of
Yes.
stuff that you shouldn't be doing if you're paying somebody to do it.
Yeah, like, man, like, that's my thing is like,
Yeah.
I don't want to follow up with somebody if they're doing their, like, I'll call them once in a while, like, hey, how's everything going? Going
Yeah.
good? Cool. Like, my Google guy. Hey, like, how's Google going? Like, I'm getting leads, I'm getting everything. Cool. And then, I expect that through everyone's business. But like my wife always tells me, you can't expect everyone to be like you. I'm like,
That's true.
Amen.
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
You're
That's
right.
why that's why it's really difficult to get a team for us, Josh, because
Yeah.
they don't do what we do, and
Yeah.
it's just difficult, right? You got to almost find like another you,
Yeah.
and it's hard to do.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's really hard to do. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So, and then the knowledge that you have is it's actually really, really good. And I've talked to a lot of credit repair people, and they really haven't told me some of the things you've told me or answered it in a clear and concise way.
Because I do
And-
credit repair. I do credit education.
And professional.
That's my fault. That's my fault. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, they do credit repair. I do credit education,
Yeah.
which is very different. Through credit education, I help people.
You do it all.
with the
All of
credit
it.
restoration.
And you come across very professional too.
Oh,
That's
thank
the
you.
other thing too, that a lot of credit people, like when I talk to them, is just like, yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Yeah, we just
You meet him in the alley or something?
$9.99, and I got one letter out for you, you know?
Craigslist and shit.
Right.
Facebook Marketplace.
For a minute.
You're like, where'd you go with my $150, bro?
Yeah. I repair.
Collect-
My credit just got worse.
Damn. Yeah,
It's real. It's real, guys. It's real. Be careful.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. That's what I'm saying. You come across really professional, and I would want to like, if the way you're telling me things right now, I would want to sign up like to repair my credit. I can't do the the business side of it.
You can, but it definitely requires you to, again, endeavor the
Yeah.
education.
Yes.
And I tell people all the time, the business module is actually made for referral. The company with itself is a referral company. They
Yeah.
do the
Yeah.
education. They provide the app for the clients. They provide the roadmap for the client. However, again, people are loyal to people,
Yep.
not
Yeah.
to computers,
Yeah.
not to roadmaps, not to the, like what the video is telling you. They're loyal to me.
Yep.
And I want them to be loyal to me because I'm offering them a service, not just a service that works, but a person that cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing, like, I used to want to get agents all the time on my team. And then I realized how wasteful of energy that was, because
I was about to say that.
it's a
Yeah,
lot
like
of
that's-
energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not because I wanted someone to be exactly like me, because I did bail on myself the first 10 months. I could have been working this business from when I started, but the thing is that you have to see it mathematically.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a hands-off agent, that's perfectly fine, but at least know how to launch people enough for them to correlate the service
Yeah.
to you. If you just say, I'm gonna send you to a credit person, and then disappear and then reach back in 3 months, you in no way correlated the
Oh, yeah.
service to you, even if it worked.
Yeah.
Because at
Yeah.
that point they're talking to somebody else.
And then trust
right,
the other
yeah.
person.
And then
Yeah.
trust the other person. So I have a lot of realtors tell me like, oh, like I want to send you a client, and I'm very thorough with CCing them in every email. I have a CRM for my clients so that I
nice.
can be more structures in place. You have to
got your
have it.
systems, yeah.
So especially with the work that I do. So
Yeah.
I reach out to the agents. This is what they're doing. Steve Lee is the best example. If you know Steve Lee from Celebrity Home Loans, he's a lender.
Yeah.
And I'm working on some of his clients, and the second she's ready, like there you go, goes back to
Nice.
you.
Okay.
But it's because I connect the other person. The other person doesn't have to follow up if they don't want to.
Yep.
You know,
yeah.
and then from there, if Steve Lee has another realtor they want to give it, that's on him. You know, however,
he
we
could
created a
Yeah,
relationship.
that's what I was
Yep.
just
And
gonna
that's the
say,
thing.
that
Like
you-
we created a relationship where he's like, look, if you help me help my clients, I can help you again.
That's
And
awesome.
you can help me again. And we
yeah.
can help them.
It's a big
Yeah.
win.
You know, and
Big
then
win.
it all goes. I tell people, like, if you're a shark and you care about the money, just correlate to the follow-up being in the fortune.
Yep. And that's
Fortune
that's
is
one of
involved.
my like big philosophies is like that's one of my things I got into real estate when I was like, you know what, I can't chase the money. I want to chase my dreams, chase what I want to do and do it the best I can do it. And I did that, and then the money just comes along.
Yeah.
And that's with anything. Like I've seen it with everybody. Like you know, if it's rap artists, whatever it is, they chase their passion. They're eating dirt, and then you know they stay true to it. And at the end, you know, they're eating steaks and everything. So
Yeah, that's how it is too. Like I never really chase the money. Like
Yeah.
it's like I just want to help people, right? And then the money comes with it. Because
You
even
really
if
have
I
to
Yeah.
want to.
yeah,
You really-
even if I take a cut on like a client because I need to pay part of their closing cost, guess what? They're gonna
Yep.
send me another 2, 3, 4
yeah,
clients.
it's an investment.
Exactly.
It's an
Yeah.
investment.
It's an
Yeah,
investment.
exactly. So you know,
Yes. Yeah,
I think that's-
exactly. Yeah.
even though I am a shark, I guess
I'm more of a dolphin.
I guess I'm a vegetarian
but I play with
shark.
the sharks, okay?
I guess I'm a vegetarian. No,
Yeah.
but there's different ways, right, of doing it. You know, you can be a shark and you can just be a shark for your clients.
Yeah, shark is not
Yeah.
a negative thing.
People
Shark
look at it
just
as a
means
bad thing,
people
but-
that like move forward
Yeah.
and they have their goal,
Yeah.
you know, and they do it in a certain way,
Yeah,
you know, and I use the little animals, you know, but dolphins are the social people, the ones but they'll kill you.
Oh, really?
Okay. Dolphins look nice and friendly.
I thought they just
you
wanted
know,
you to
and
swim
they're
with them.
social, but you know they kill sharks.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
they do.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Holy-
Look
okay.
at his what is it? National Geographic.
Yeah, we'll go
Google.
to Nat Geo.
Google that.
Google that.
We'll go to Nat
Okay.
Geo.
So what I'm saying is that results are different. I
Yeah.
mean, results are same, but
Mhm.
execution is different.
Yeah.
And you
we
have
all
to adapt.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's fair to say you can be both, you
Yeah.
know, but most people fall under one category,
Mhm.
and that's why I try to do it both ways. You have to care about people, and if you care about the money, the more people you care about, the more money will flow through.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
Yes.
You know, so just and all I can end saying this in
Mhm.
real estate or in anything that you want to do, you have to be the source of education. If you don't tell people your knowledge, or if you don't enhance your credibility,
Mhm.
or if you're constantly tossing them to different faces,
Oh,
Yeah.
you
I hate when
know,
people
I
do
hate
that.
that.
it'll definitely become a diluted process.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the only way to really keep the loyalty is to educate someone.
Yeah.
You know, I have a feeling that I'm going to be hearing from you guys soon, because there's a method, you know,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
making sure you're thorough, educate people, make sure you're professional. You know, I learned these from my parents, but
Yeah.
also be real.
Yeah.
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 know,
Exactly.
you
Be real,
gotta- You know, it can't all
There's a-
be
There's a fine line between being like very professional and being real, because
Yeah.
I've dealt with people where they're very professional and you're like, dude, you're boring.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or- and then
They
people
don't
that are
have-
like
yeah.
too real, and you're like, can you calm down a little
gotta
bit?
tone it- Look, I'm more on the real side, I'll be honest.
Calm down a
and
little bit.
I did say I was from LA, you know, West Side. So,
Yeah.
but you have to know when to
Yeah.
reel it in. Certain
Yeah.
information requires certain. It requires a certain composure,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
credit is a very serious topic.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
It
Yeah.
is, and I'm again, like I tell people all the time, I gave myself the caption or the title of specialist and not expert, because I feel like specialist means that it's something that you're constantly
Working on.
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Expert is someone who knows it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just feel like credit's ever malleable and
Always changing.
very circumstantial, very much like real
Yeah.
estate. So
Yeah, that's what
That's
I call
great.
myself. I call myself more of like a consultant.
Yeah.
Because I'm consulting people on like what they should do with their money. Because I have people come to me like, hey, what would you invest in this? I'm like, well, how much you got? And then they'll tell me, I'm like, all right, this is what I would do. And they're like, oh, I'd rather just buy a house cash. You want to divide it all up and then buy
Yeah.
well, I'm like,
Everything's
you
gonna
asked me.
trickle.
You're consulting me. So I'm giving you my honest opinion. This is what you should do. This is how you build wealth. And they're like, okay. But it's the same. It's the same thing. Is that's where it comes down to.
it really just, it's really scary because you would think they would teach us this in our formal education.
You would think.
They,
Like,
they don't.
like, can you please tell me when Thomas Jefferson? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I would like to know how
what's
to
the
do
square
it.
root
is
of
it?
pi?
Right,
Like,
right.
I don't know. Like, how do I do my finances?
What
How do I
kind of
write a
pie?
check? I barely actually learned how to write a check a couple
pumpkin
months
pie?
ago. I'm like,
Are you serious?
no, probably like a couple years ago. But I'm like, all right, my
He doesn't
name.
know how to balance his checkbook.
I don't even balance it.
Yeah.
That's what QuickBooks is for.
I know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Shit. Who uses
telling you.
paper checks?
Right.
I do.
Still do. My
me
boss, Ryan just asked me that. He's all like, oh, can you go to the bank, get yourself a check? I'm like, oh, I have my checkbook in the car. It's like, you have a, what are you, 70? I was like, no. Just, you never know when you need a check.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I feel like one of my main topics for people is the fact that the formal education system neglects to educate us on becoming financially literate
I hate
because
it. Yeah.
yeah, no, it's
they're
true.
trying to produce employees.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Yep, it's very
If
true.
everybody was financially literate, everybody would try to leverage the same thing and everybody would be self-employed or business owners, though
Yep.
you want to be a business owner.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing is that like, I watched this video. They said that basically, I think it was 1934. They actually structured like grades K through 12, and that's how they structured it. And it's never changed since that time. And I'm just like, yeah. And I never thought of
crazy.
it like that. But that's 70, over 100, almost.
Not
was gonna
100
say
years,
almost,
my friend.
almost.
That was
90
the
something.
Jefferson's time.
Yeah, I know the Jeffersons, that's for sure. I shouldn't know, but I do know. Okay.
That's crazy.
I don't want to give my age away.
Yeah.
And they really won't take me seriously.
Um,
But the other thing, I don't know if this kind of correlates or goes hand to hand, but it made me think about our parents,
Yeah.
the other resource of information we get.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
I have immigrant parents,
me too.
you
Yeah.
know. I'm first generation, and I was actually raised in Guadalajara for the first few
Oh,
years
nice.
of my
Oh,
life.
I love Guadalajara.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I'm
where
from
all the-
Guanajuato, which is like a couple
You're
hours.
my neighbor. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
my neighbor.
yeah.
So I tell people all the time, like, your parents aren't your only resource.
Yeah.
Your computer is not your only resource.
Yep.
Your school is not your only resource.
Yeah.
So be open-minded.
Yeah. And
That's
I
great.
do see a lot of people too where they try to do exactly what their parents did because that's how their parents taught them. And
Yeah.
that's the downfall of it all because like that's how it happened with me is
Yeah.
you know, I was learning how they did things with credit and all of that and I'm like this I don't they obviously didn't do well, so I'm like So I'm like,
Same-
okay,
same
like
with my
what do I
parents,
learn?
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's hard to find either people or things online because especially things online, Google, you know, how do I maintain credit? Fucking, you read 10 different things. You're like, what?
I know.
What?
I just saw a real.
Lexington law, what?
Yeah, right. I looked it up. I was
It's
like,
a bad
what?
word. It's a bad word.
Voldemort, okay. No, so it goes hand in hand with what you said. That comment, you
Yeah.
know, schooling going back to 1932, and they structured it a certain way, and
Yeah.
they haven't changed it. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, now we have coding in school, so we are evolving." And well, coding's the next employee, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they had coding back when I was in, I think.
You're a very smart employee at that point, but you're still
still
an
an employee,
employee.
yeah, yeah.
They're bringing coding to the education system versus taxes,
Yeah.
versus
Yeah,
handling
taxes.
your car,
Yeah.
versus, you know, working on things like your credit. and learning financial literacy. And
Yeah.
one of the other things that I think we should be taught instead of or in addition to physical education is mental education.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people suffer from that. They don't, they never.
Like
Yeah.
mental and emotional intelligence is
Yeah.
key to making financial decisions.
I agree.
It's very true.
Yeah.
But they'll do coding because it's the future, but that's the
Yeah.
next employee.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It is with
Okay.
all the
Very
technology
true.
and everything.
Assembly line used to be the first employee.
Yep.
Henry Ford, 1930s.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
coding is the next assembly line.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
The
Except instead
Amazons
of
and all
going
that
and standing next to each other, you're all in a cubicle with computers
Or at
coding.
or at home.
Or at home.
COVID.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
I mean,
A different type of imprisonment.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not financially free until you have multiple streams of income
Yep.
and until you can decide not to show up and you're still generating income.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have anything else, Josh? It's 3:56. I know you say you had a.
Oh,
but-
yeah.
I'm sorry.
This has.
Oh, no, you're fine. No,
this
that was a great podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say this has been pretty awesome.
You
a lot of
liked
fun.
it? Thank you.
And,
I mean,
it just flew by.
They really just hit me up like a couple days ago.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I was like, what's the structure? What's the questions? I don't want to be wrong.
I sent it like 30 minutes ago.
He really did.
Shame on me. Shame on me.
It's like, it's really general, you know. And we
Yeah.
definitely delved in. So
No,
Yeah.
this was. I knew you were gonna kill it. Like I've seen your stories. I've seen everything you do. So even if I didn't send you anything, you were gonna crush it.
Thank you
and
so
thank you so
much.
much for making it. And
Oh, let
how-
me ask one question. Sorry to cut
go
you off
ahead.
there,
No, go ahead.
Zalo.
Go ahead.
do it.
Go ahead.
How much are your services?
Oh.
Oh,
forgot
that's
that- we
such a-
forgot that.
Oh my
I know,
God! Yeah,
right?
that's
Come
such a
on,
great
most
question.
I know.
Okay, yeah,
Everyone's gonna be like
yeah,
cliffhanger, like what? Where'd she at? Where'd she go? How much?
So, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the
go ahead.
services are on a monthly basis.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it provides over 12 products like credit restoration, credit building tool, debt payoff.
Okay.
One of
cool.
my favorite, will and trust. You know, not even Prince had a will and his assets.
You also do will and trust.
We have power of attorney.
Okay.
So I told you it's more of a financial thing in the end of it all
Yeah,
because
it's-
credit's just the first step.
Okay.
Okay.
Then you get your assets through budgeting, through debt payoff, and then you protect your assets,
Oh yeah.
right?
All right.
Yep.
So you organize, you build, and you protect.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
might
where
have
we
to
focus.
talk to you about trust and all that because I know a little bit about it, but I want to know like the tax benefits. I want to know like just
Yeah.
all the benefits of it,
Yeah.
why I should keep it out of my
We
LLC.
can keep going, okay?
That's a whole different hour. That's
I
another
know.
podcast for
I
I know. I
Remy
might have to
too.
text my
Bring it
appointment and say like, "Hey,
Yeah, get
another 30 minutes."
No, honestly, like, so it allows for so many more things, and it has such a greater value than what it's worth. And what it's worth is based on what you need.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put one single value. I can tell you it's worth less than the Starbucks you get every day.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So
that's
if you
a
get
great.
a Starbucks every day, it's worth less than that. Sometimes I get two. So
What is it like? $48 for the recording fee?
no recording, no nothing like. I mean, a will and a trust
Yeah.
is not going to cost you $50, but it won't cost you anywhere near that to have the entirety of the program.
Oh, so you guys actually formed the will and trust?
We have a turn. Yeah. So
Oh.
I'll definitely leave you with one of these.
Because I thought you were talking about just putting things in a trust and just like see ya. No, I'm just playing. I know you wouldn't do that. I know you wouldn't do
They
that.
send you the certificate to your home,
Okay.
like the official documentation. You can
Oh.
put it in a safe.
Okay,
or
so
you
you
can,
get
you know,
all the
It's the whole,
everything.
so it's the whole 9 yards. They have identity
Wow.
protection because that's
Okay.
key
Yep.
to making sure that nobody else is falsifying information. They have multiple. It all correlates. They
Okay.
they even have life insurance. So it's
Oh.
it's
We're actually
We're
having
gonna
life
have
in-
to.
Yeah, we're gonna have a life insurance guy here next week.
Oh, I'm
actually,
excited.
Yeah.
New York
yeah.
Life. So that's
Nice.
yep.
Okay. All
So he's
right.
gonna teach us a little bit about life insurance.
That's
But
Yeah.
super key too. Like most people think it's like I'm not dying anytime soon, and it's like you
Yeah, I
did
got
not
it.
see
Yeah.
that bus coming, did ya?
Yeah. No, I
You
got
know?
it now. Yeah. Just
well,
because you just never know.
there's a lot more. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know. Well, I don't mean to talk about next week before this, but like life insurance, you could actually take and loan yourself money from your life
Yeah,
insurance.
That's what you
And
said last time.
yeah, dude, like
Also from your 401k.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so
Cool.
there's a lot involved with it.
Gotcha.
But credit
Okay.
is
So you guys do everything financial. I would say
don't wanna
majority of
everything,
things
but
financial.
definitely the fundamentals, and the
fun-
fundamentals
the
are
fundies.
much,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
the fundamentals, you know? And it's much more in depth than most people assumed it'd be. So that's why I always just start with credit. I
Yeah.
mean, you got to start
Yeah.
with step one.
Yeah.
Then if somebody wants to go I can't start talking to somebody like this who didn't even think they can afford a loan.
They're very
I
true.
can't
Yep.
start talking like this to someone who didn't even think they can have a credit score.
Yeah.
So we start with the first
Yeah.
step.
Yeah, no, I thought
Yeah,
when
that's
Zalo invited you over, I thought it was just gonna be just credit. And I'm like, okay, like let me think of some credit thing. He didn't
Yeah.
say it was like, hey, like there's an education class we're gonna go into today, and because I learned a lot. Like I'm serious.
I was gonna say, to be honest, like I thought it was gonna be about credit as well, but it went even beyond my expectations.
Yeah.
You
Way
guys,
beyond.
you guys
I
asked the
love
questions.
this.
I just
yeah,
answered them.
I love it.
It was surprising every time I asked the question.
it, yeah.
It'd be more. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
She
Well,
said,
what's
"What?"
this? Yeah, there's more.
Please feel free to fact check me. You know?
There's so much cool info today. I learned so much.
Yeah.
So thank
So
you.
how much is it?
It
Really get to that part? Yeah.
It depends. I don't like putting a price on it because it depends
Oh, okay,
on what
okay.
you need.
What you need? Okay.
know, so
200 a month. Are we close?
no, that's too much.
Okay, 100 a month. Are we close?
That's too much.
Okay.
So
shoot.
at this point, you have to recognize that
Okay. It's worth every
it's worth
single
every
penny.
cent of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
I mean, shit. You're paying that in interest on probably one of your loans or car or whatever.
And I get a Starbucks every day, and that adds up to more than $100. So
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I
Very
don't
true.
go to Starbucks.
So
I
it's
just
prioritize.
Dunkin' Donuts at home now.
Oh no,
It's not the
I
same.
have the K cups
It's not the
now.
same. But yeah, I got
I
the
had
K
to
cups now.
prioritize. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to get those assets, you know.
So well, yeah. And if you guys do want to know more information about it,
How do we get a hold
Yeah.
of
How
you,
do they
Remy?
contact you?
Yeah.
So my name is Remy Seleuco. There is no other Remy Seleuco in this world. I checked.
Okay.
I
Okay.
tried to find her. She wasn't out there.
REMMYSELEUC.
Oh.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then my Instagram, which I feel is the best way for you guys to
Yep.
get to know me interpersonally, also see my business, see the lifestyle, because
Cool.
that's what I've been using to kind of sell myself and market myself, but also provide education, free education.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, is Pro Wanderer, so PRO_Wanderer.
Okay.
And I haven't changed it to anything real estate or credit related because I truly feel that I wander through.
Yeah.
And anywhere I
Cool.
go,
That's
I wandered
awesome.
into here
Yeah,
by
yeah.
coincidence
Thank you
because
for
of
that,
a
yeah.
because of a networking event,
Yeah.
right? That
Oh,
we
nice,
had
nice.
met.
I went to
Or because-
Jeremy's event. Yeah,
or
and
you
then I met
connected
there, and I
through
started
social
following
media.
you, and I was like, yeah,
Mhm.
she's pretty awesome with
I
all this stuff.
wandered into Rothwell Gorham by coincidence. Like I wander the city to find houses for my clients. So I always tell people like I'm a wanderer does not mean I'm lost. It just means
That's-
I'm
yeah.
very open minded.
Yeah.
So I
Very
won't
true.
change it. I'm a professional wanderer.
Cool.
So and if you want my phone number, just don't be weird.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm just kidding.
Go ahead.
702-413-5809.
There you go, viewers and listeners. Now you have her info, and that is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for coming in and taking your time.
I know. Thank
So-
you so much.
Yeah. No
I-
problem.
Thank you.
I've never done a podcast before, and I just love education.
You crushed it.
And I love talking too.
Yeah.
So you guys kind of just.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, guys. So for next week, we have a life insurance professional that is going to
Yep.
be. Yeah. So Josh, you want to tell him about that?
Yeah, so he's just going to talk to us about life insurance, how to leverage it. There's just more than your employer giving it to you, and tell you guys the ins and outs of all of it, of all of the life insurance. So if you can, just go ahead, subscribe, like, follow us on Instagram. Thank you guys for tuning in, and have a great day.
Take care, guys. Thank you.